Hello, everyone, and welcome back for a new season of another edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling, and I am so pleased to have this opportunity to rejoin you on LaSalle TV 56. Today on our program, we've got a great show for you. We're going to start off with City Councilman Curtis Jones. He's going to let us know some of what's happening with legislation at City Council. He's going to talk about his 4th district and what he's doing there. And I think he's going to have a special surprise as he teases us for a great show of shows coming to Philadelphia October the 22nd through November the 15th. Stay along. We'll be back in a moment. Once again, hello everyone, and we thank you so much for choosing to watch LaSalle TV. Glad to be with you today. I am the host, Thera Martin Milling, and this will be my 4th season at LaSalle. I want to thank the administration and certainly Professor Tanya Ellis for allowing me to have this opportunity to share some of the great people of Philadelphia, the guests that we bring on this program with all of you. We're going to start with City Councilman Curtis Jones, Jr. Good to see you, my friend.
Always a pleasure to be back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for providing us with some of your time. I know how busy you are. Let's start with the schools in your district. You've got like, what, 30 public
30 schools. Public charter, private, parochial, 30 good schools in my district, and some of them are challenged. Yes. Some of them are on the rise. I mean, we've been working with them, and I've had the pleasure of walking in every one of my schools and really kicking the tires, if you would, to see how we're doing in educating our young people. Yeah. It's been an experience.
Now, when you talk to the parents, the administrators of these 30 schools, are any of the concerns that they have similar amongst them, or does everybody have their own particular issues about their schools, such as repairs or replacement of furniture or equipment that they may need?
Now, all of my babies are unique, all 30 of them, but some of them have a common thread. Climate in the schools, always a concern. Some do a better job than others. Some climate is more of a concern than others. And I learned about a lot of philosophies as it relates to how to keep a good climate. I think it starts with the leadership, the principal, the CEO of a school. It sets the tone. In some of my schools, you won't see a metal detector or anything like that. And the honor system is more of a covenant between the administration, the school, and the students and the parents. Yes. In other places, it's a little more challenged. And some of the kids bring, I like to say, 2 book bags. One with the books of and lessons of the day, and the others from the troubles at home and in the community. And what we want to do is alleviate that second book bag so that kids can focus on the lessons being taught. But if you come to school and you come from a situation where you're hungry or don't have all of the equipment that you need, we've done toiletry drives so that a kid going through adolescence needs deodorant and things like that, and cosmetics. And we try to raise that money to provide that, so that second book bag is just a little bit lighter. So then you can focus on not so much peer pressures of how you look, but what you're thinking about and the basics of your education. So we do that.
I went to pick up my grandson from school the other day, and I had on Bobos. You know what Bobos are. No, our viewing audience, you know what Bobos are. They're cheap sneakers, inexpensive sneakers, okay? And I don't have a problem with inexpensive sneakers because I'm a professional woman, and when I'm out in the work world, I dress like this. I don't worry about sneakers. And the kids from my grandson's school, my back was to them, and I guess they thought I was one of the kids from the back. And you see this old face. And they were laughing, ha, ha, he, and I turned around and they were like, we're sorry, we're sorry. I said, no, no, no. I said, you can laugh, it's all right. I said, the sneakers don't make me. The clothes don't make me. I make me. And you all should know that. And I went through a whole grandmother thing, giving my speech about it's important who we are and not what we wear. But that went in one ear and out the other.
We have to remember, at some point, you gain that confidence in yourself. Not just by what you wear, but what you know and how accomplished you are. But at a point, if you think back, there was a lot of insecurity about, am I cool enough? Am I in the cool club? And what do people think about how I look? And those pressures are a part of some of the issues that our students face.
And that's why I'm so glad the public school district in Philadelphia finally did make the decision. Uniforms, much better, much better.
We have a challenge with that because you still have to buy those. And some of our neighborhoods, and I don't want to focus on the negative too much, but some of them, some teachers are forced to buy clothing for kids who may have holes in their sneakers, and during inclement weather, the rain gets in your shoes. And so, we're trying to have a holistic approach to the education process so that if there's an issue at home, social service agencies such as DHS are in the school to identify it and rectify it to the degree that they can.
Now, our state, we have some lovely lawmakers at our state level, and I'm not here to trash anybody today, but as of the date that we taped this show, which was on Monday, September the 14th, we still had no state budget. That not having a state budget is starting to impact us in Philadelphia. I'm seeing programs that are having to go temporarily closed until they get some more money in. So how is that affecting our schools?
Well, whenever you don't have predictability, stability, you have to budget on what you have, not what you think you're going to have. I mean, we have to do that in our individual homes. Sure. Well, the school district has to do it as well. So when you want to do an innovative program that might teach communications, well, I don't know if I can make that expenditure now or when the actual appropriation comes in, so I'm going to hold up on that. If you hold up on that, you're holding up on talent that may come in. There was a communication director like yourself that might want to come in for an interview, but if you're not sure, if you're going to have predictable funding to pay my salary, maybe I'll go somewhere where there is. And so we miss out on opportunities, and we're always playing catch up based on the fact that every year we go through the kabuki dance of trying to see if we can make $1 out of 50 cents when we should have the resources available already appropriated for education if it is a priority in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Our governor is fighting for that. Many of our legislators from Philadelphia are fighting for that. But there are places around the state where that isn't a priority and where tax and spend is a bad word. And yes, tax might be a bad word, but we sure enough have good causes to spend it on. And I can't think of a more worthwhile cause than our young people who are our future.
Education, right? When I look at what you're doing in City Council, the work that you're doing, you have been dubbed one of the hardest working City Council people in the state of Pennsylvania. I know a couple of summers ago, one of the local newspapers, dailies, had somebody shadowing various elected officials to see who actually worked over the summer at City Hall. You won. You were like the top name for being there, even on vacation. I know this summer you really didn't take any time off, but you still a couple of days at the end of August.
Yeah, I did. And so half of the battle is showing up, and in our process in government, there's no manuals that they give out at the beginning of the season to tell you what the priorities are. You have to kind of feel your way and through experience gain that. So if you show up, you get the they call me a budget geek. Now that doesn't mean that I know all of the balancing acts of the balance sheet, but I pay attention to each and every testimony that commissioners give because you can learn a lot. It's like being in school where the professor, you're giving a professor the grade. And so you can learn about the priorities of government simply by finding out what they fund. I could tell you I'm for education, but if I cut education spending over a course of a couple of cycles, then where is my commitment? If I'm choosing to build prisons as opposed to new schools, where are my priorities in government? Unfortunate things you hear, a study shows that if a child in the inner city, urban kid, can read up to par by the 4th grade, they have a reasonable chance of success. The converse of that is if they cannot read up to par, they know how many prison cells to build by the time they're 18.
Oh, I don't like that.
So if you can predict that, you can reverse engineer the solution. Let's invest in pre-K to 4th grade in reading. It's simple as that. So the question becomes, a government tells its priorities by what it appropriates money for.
Now, there was a very interesting issue that City Council came back with when you all came in session after being on summer recess from legislative duties, but people like you still working all summer long, not really on recess. But one of the things I saw in the paper last week, the session started back on Thursday, September the 10th, and you all were talking about making a decision on whether we should have co-ed bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a society now where gender discrimination in any form is being looked at in a different way. And so, you know, I don't know if you've been to a sporting event. The lines at the female side might be a little longer than the lines at the guy's side. And people are trying to look at those kinds of things to make it as seamless as possible. Now, is that my priority? No. I'm more concerned about the economy in the city of Philadelphia. I'm more concerned about the number of shootings in the city of Philadelphia as chair of public safety. I'm concerned about making sure that education is a priority. And so, you know, as independent elected officials, you get to prioritize what you think your constituents care about. In my district, education is job number one. Public safety meaning that those kids that go to those schools should be able to go back and forth safely. And we try to make sure that those things are taken care of.
Well, I know that you led the way for video cameras, video surveillance cameras for the city of Philadelphia. I want to thank you on behalf of the North 22nd Street Business Association because they're coming. In fact, we've already got about 5 along the business corridor, but I just was notified last Friday that we've been given $25,000 from Commerce to do some more cameras, particularly in the light of the murder of Officer Robert Wilson on March the 5th of this year. We're still devastated by that in that community, and I'm sure around the city. So we thank you for the push, the fight, the vision to make for sure that Philadelphia would have those video surveillance cameras for our police department all over, and now we're starting to have the trickle-down theory to these business quarters.
Our president of our body, President Clark, insisted that this is a wave of not the future but the present, that a courageous camera helps not to have to put a witness on the spot in a courtroom. The camera doesn't lie. And so he made a priority of going to Baltimore, going to Camden, right across the water, to look at the best practices of these cities. And what we found out was that through proper deployment of cameras, it is a force multiplier for our police who have boots on the ground. But in cities like Baltimore, they were able to reduce crime by 25%. Just by putting it up, because people tend not to want to be observed.
They know.
Correct.
They don't want to be on the 6 o'clock news.
Correct.
All righty. As we get ready to wrap up on this segment, Lydia Syed from the UniverSoul Circus is in Philadelphia now through November the 15th when the circus concludes. You've already met her. She's going to come up for our next segment. But I wanted to take this opportunity on behalf of Ms. Lydia and UniverSoul Circus and the founder of the circus to present you and your wife with the wonderful UniverSoul Circus t-shirts so that you and Jazzy Jazz from the 4th Council District, the First Lady, will have these t-shirts. And for television purposes, I wanted to get the real large ones on screen so everybody could see it. But we'll get a smaller size for the both of you because
thank
we know
you so much.
watch your weight all the time.
Yes, I do. And one of the things I want to say about the circus is that it comes to the 4th District every year, and we're pleased and proud to have them. But also for those out there, it is a cheap date. It is the best family fun entertainment, affordable, clean. Your kids, you don't have to cover your kids' eyes and ears. It is really nice. And that kind of experience, you don't see as much anymore. Everybody's virtual this and virtual that. Well, this is up close and personal. We just think that UniverSoul Soul is a treasure.
And coming back to Philadelphia again.
Can't wait.
All right, that wraps it up for this segment. I know what words to say to close out. Go Eagles.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Curtis Jones, for joining us on this first segment of our new season back home at LaSalle TV. This is News You Can Use. We'll be back in a moment.
creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. Until this threat can be contained, we must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital deadwalkers.
Dude!
They're not looking out for you.
Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with strong, healthy bones.
When you're dying, what will it be like? You think you may know until you see what hospice can do. Expert loving care that enables more cherished moments, more smiles, maybe one more dance. Turns out when you're dying, there's more living to do. These families discovered what hospice is. See what's possible at momentsoflife.org.
You'd do anything to take care of that spot on your lawn. So why not take care of that spot on your skin? If you're a man over 50, you're in the group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the cancer that kills one person every hour. Check your skin for suspicious or changing spots, and ask someone you trust to check areas you can't see. Early detection can put you in a better spot. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out what to look for. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
News you can use continues right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad that you stayed along with us as we go forward with our program. We have a very, very special treat coming to Philadelphia. And I know I've seen a lot of the local television shows from Fox 29 to Channel 6, 17, all the channels that will spotlight wonderful events such as UniverSoul Circus, which comes back to Philadelphia October the 22nd through November the 15th. And I understand this will be the 21st year, right?
Yes.
Happy birthday. You're legal.
There you go. Very excited. We're always excited to come back to Philadelphia. We get such warm brotherly love coming here, so very excited.
And the crazy thing, Lydia, is that when the UniverSoul Circus first came to Philadelphia 21 years ago, I was there. I was there. I was at the press conference at City Hall in the mayor's reception room. I got to meet some of the original entertainers that were part of the first UniverSoul Circus. And it's really a proud moment for me these years later to see how the circus has grown and expanded, and it is so international in flavor.
Absolutely.
I think some people may get the idea that because it's the UniverSoul Circus, they'll think, oh, that's a black thing. Maybe that's just for the African-American community. Not so. It's for everybody.
Absolutely not so. And that is really the vision of Mr. Cedric Walker, who's the founder and CEO of UniverSoul Circus. His whole, from the beginning, he spanned the globe to find diverse talent and make it a global fusion under the big top was his goal. So we have acts from around the world. We have acts from China, we have acts from Ecuador, Colombia, South America, and of course, Ethiopia and Africa, and even the United States. So it is definitely a very diverse group of talent and performers, and we want to see our the audience reflect that.
Yes. So there's a plan in place. Like you're going to have International Night every Sunday. Is that correct?
Actually, International Day. So we have 3 shows on Sundays. We have a 12:30, a 3:30, and then a 6:30. And so we want to just see diversity under the big top really the whole time. But during those times, we'll have special guest ringmasters, radio station partners.
So some local people will see out there in the mix of things.
Absolutely, that is our goal. You know, we're working very closely with La Mega and Councilman O and just different people to make sure that we have that diversity.
Great representation.
Absolutely, and as you know, Thera, we're working with the Mayor's Commission on African and Caribbean immigrants to make sure that we have that audience represented as well.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be delicious.
Just delicious.
Absolutely a wonderful, wonderful circus. I've only been one time for all the years it's come to Philly, but the story is what had happened was every year when I would get tickets, people would beg, track me down. You got some tickets? I know you got some tickets. And I would give them away. I'm easy. I would give them away and then thereby making it where I wasn't going. And even when I purchased tickets, not just leaning on free tickets, when I purchased tickets, I still gave them away. So
that shows your heart. That shows your heart. Yes. We want everyone to, and tickets are on sale now, so we're hoping that everyone will purchase tickets early and really experience the show. I heard Councilman say earlier that it is, about family, and that was Mr. Walker's vision with starting this, is wanting to give our families a quality entertainment platform that they can bring their kids in. Under the big top, as you know, since you have been, that kids from all ages, the seniors, our seniors enjoy it. They're dancing, they're up, and the babies, so all ages enjoy it.
I want to talk a little bit about the career part of this because one of the things that UniverSoul Circus is doing different this time, for the first time in Philadelphia, you're having a circus camp at some point.
Yes, we're working on that to put together a circus camp or possibly mini camps. We've been thinking about really making sure that we're able to get out into the neighborhoods and really engage the community and let them see kind of behind the scenes of what goes on within the circus and having them up close and touching our talent and finding out what it takes to be a part of the circus, how they got into it and their lifestyle. They have to eat very healthy. A lot of exercise, so we want our young people to experience that.
We have a circus school here in Philadelphia. It's on Green Street.
Yes.
Green and Rittenhouse, I believe, is the location. And so there is an interest. There are people who want to join the circus and be a part of that world, which is a commitment and a half. Even what you do as a marketing expert for the circus, you're traveling from city to city. Sometimes you're away from your family for how long at a time?
Absolutely. Sometimes a month or 2 at a time being on the road, but that's a part of the excitement for the circus is that we're not just showing up. We like to get in and be a part of the community. So as you mentioned, the careers, there's so many different avenues to be a part of what we do and bring that excitement to families. As I said, Mr. Walker travels the globe to find talent, and then he invests in them. So it's not just showing up one day. There's an investment in the education. As you said, there's a great circus school here.
Can you talk about the ringmaster for a moment? Because he has a very special story.
He does. Lucky actually was, Mr. Walker recognized him at a performance in South Africa in Johannesburg in 1999, and by 2009, but anyway, the next year he was actually a part of our show. So he joined the circus in 2000 with the UniverSoul Circus as a 10-year-old with his sister. He was a contortionist. And now he's our ringmaster. So Lucky has basically grown up with the circus. He's married someone who was also in the circus, and now they have a baby. So they're definitely a UniverSoul Circus family.
So sweet. That is so sweet. You're going to have zebras at the circus this year. That's different.
Yes, the zebras are different. Female trainer, she's excellent. So a lot of new things this year at the circus. So don't think that you've seen it before and not come. We want you to come and experience all that is new. We have a new contortionist act from Ethiopia. They're called Trinity. 3 young girls, they're dynamic. It's just amazing.
Okay, well, we're excited about it and the fact that the UniverSoul Circus is coming back to Philadelphia and people can see talent like they've never seen before, perhaps for the first time under the big tent.
Absolutely. Well, we welcome everyone to come out. We're going to be playing in front of the Mann Center at Fairmount Park. And you mentioned October the 22nd through November the 15th. And so we just want to have a big...
One of the components, and I remember you telling me this in a conversation, that the circus is doing this year because of the unfortunate violence that we've had around the nation in different hotbed cities, including this one right here. And there's been a lot of different messages about, you know, Black Lives Matter, police officers' lives matter, white lives matter. We're saying everybody's life matters.
All life matters, and we're saying your life matters. And that's something that we really want our young people to know. So we have a special show on October the 28th, which is a Wednesday. It's a half day at a school at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a special show entitled Your Life Matters. And so we're looking to have showcase local talent from Philadelphia. We want all of our young people in the area to come out, and we will showcase local talent with spoken word and singing and positive rap and dance. And oh, absolutely, keeping it positive. But then also we will be showcasing all the great resources you have in this community to help our young people. And that's our vision.
So then organizations that say no to violence, no to drugs, that kind, all the positive groups, they're going to be welcome to come, set up, have their tables on the perimeters, grounds around the big tent, perhaps.
Absolutely, and be able to have a few moments to actually speak to our youth under the big top.
Oh, good. Well, I hope the messages are received and heard clearly, because it's about all lives matter, your life matters, and that we need to respect each other. And then the whole cultural piece, supporting each other and understanding that our world is a melting pot of nationalities. And there's nothing wrong with getting to know how people from the Dominican Republic dance, or the flavors of the food that they may eat, or someone from Europe and how they do what they do, and all of that. It's really a great opportunity that I think Mr. Cedric Walker, the founder of UniverSoul Circus, is affording for all of us, not just in Philly, but the other cities where you go.
He really is, and I tell our show producer is phenomenal. She's put together a piece that represents the diversity within the ring, and I think they had 26 different flags, 6 different countries represented with our performers.
Now this year, do you know what the number is of different countries that are going to be represented during the shows here in Philly?
It is 26.
It is 26. Okay, okay. All right, well, we got to remember that. And again, the circus is coming to town. It's October the 22nd through November the 15th. You're going to be hearing about it on all of the local media outlets, I'm sure, and we just want to celebrate and welcome the circus entertainers and everybody to show them that Philadelphia knows how to have a good family clean time as they come out to join you under the big top.
Absolutely, at the UniverSoul Circus.
UniverSoul Circus. Thank you for joining us. I love you. This is Lydia Syed, and she is the marketing manager for the UniverSoul Circus. They're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Thera Martin Milling, and that does wrap it up for this first edition of News You Can Use for our new season, our 4th season at LaSalle TV. I count it a blessing. Don't forget, folks, the Pope is coming to town. Be on the lookout for the Papal Watch. Take care, everybody.